Welcome to Telugu One Academy. In today's class, we discuss about National Commission for Minorities. We have a statutory body. We have discussed a few constitutional bodies, few statutory bodies. National Commission for Minorities is a statutory body. As we all know, India is a secular country, and we have a good number of population belonging to different religions. Other than the Hindus, we have population from other religions like Muslims, Christians, Sikh. We have population of Buddhism, Buddhist, Jains, and Zoroastrians as well. So, to protect the rights of minorities, both religious minorities and linguistic minorities, minorities on the basis of ethnic, that is nationalism, ethnicism, religion, language, etc. We have this commission. We have a statutory commission, National Commission for Minorities, which is established for the protection of the rights of minorities. So in this class, we would be discussing what is the need of such a commission in India, how this National Commission has actually established, then the composition of such commission, the functions of the commission, and the important parameters on which the commission functions. So, National Commission for Minorities. Initially, the National Commission for Minorities was not established as a full-fledged commission for minorities. So, we had a commission, that is, we have a minority commission. It was just a minority commission which was created in 1978. So, in 1978, we have a minority commission which was a part of Ministry of Home Affairs, that is at central government level. The Minorities Commission was created in this ministry. So, Ministry of Home Affairs had the Minorities Commission in that. It was not a full-fledged commission. It was not a national commission for minorities, and it was not a statutory body as well. So, initially just to protect, because as we know, Ministry of Home Affairs is mandated to protect law and order in the country. It will also take up the issues related to states in the country. So, Minorities Commission was initially set up in the Ministry of Home Affairs by an executive resolution. Then in 1984, the Minority Commission was detached, that is, was taken away from the Home Ministry, the Union Home Ministry. The Minority Commission was taken away, and it was newly created. We have a newly created Ministry of Welfare. Ministry of Welfare was there. We have taken away the Minority Commission from Home Affairs, and we have attached to Ministry of Welfare, because there was a need felt that Minority Commission specially envisages on the safeguarding the rights of the minorities. Here, safeguarding the right is not only just protection of the constitutional rights, but also to promote and to to make such actions which caters to the development of the minorities. That is, for the both welfare activities and development activities, certain steps need to be taken by the government in order to have a equitable development of religious and linguistic minorities at par with other sections of the people. So, as we know, we have a secular polity, and the state government or the government, the central government, or the nation does not follow any particular religion. So, it is mentioned in our fundamental rights also that the state has to give equal importance to all sections of the people, all religions. So, Article 15 says that there have to be no discrimination on the basis of religion, region, caste, sex, and other things. So, this mandated that the central government need to give a impetus to such minorities, and it has added this minority commission in Ministry of Welfare. So when we say welfare ministry, it obviously works for providing basic amenities to the needy people, to the people who are below poverty line, or to the people who are not getting the fruits of development. So Ministry of Welfare was created, and the Minority Commission was set up in Ministry of Welfare. And as we know, the National Commission for Minorities, this is in 1992. In 1992, we have established a National Commission for Minorities, which is created by a statutory, that is by a resolution of the Parliament, and hence we call this as a statutory body. So the National Commission for Minorities Act created the National Commission for Minorities, and which has then the Minority Commission was renamed as National Commission for Minorities. In 1992, a full-fledged a separate National Commission for Minorities was established. Now it's not part of any ministry or any ministry. Initially, the Minority Commission was a part of Ministry of Home Affairs. Then a new ministry was created, that is Ministry of Welfare, and Minority Commission was added to Ministry of Welfare. Then we have enacted a separate commission, that is National Commission for Minorities, and which is an autonomous body. Though it's a statutory body, it has a sense of independency. It will recommend the government on various aspects related to the socio-economic conditions of minorities. Again, when I say minorities, at present we have 6 religious minorities. Before 2014, we have actually only 5 religious minorities, that is Muslims, Christians, Sikh, we have Buddhist, we have Zoroastrians. After 2014, Jains were added to the list of religious minorities. At present, we have 6 religious minorities. So in 1993, the first statutory commission was created. So it has came into function in 1993. So initially we had 5 religious groups, and among them Muslims were important, because they have now at present they have more than 14% of the population. So Muslims, then we have Christians who are almost around 2.7% of the population, then Sikh community, Buddhist, Zoroastrians and Jains, they are no less than 1% of the population. So here when we say minorities, the Muslim community becomes important. The majority of the population in this minority religions groups are Muslims, followed by Christians. So both Muslims and Christians combined, we have 90% of the minority population. So to have a comprehensive growth, to have an equitable development, to protect the secular fabric of the nation, the minorities has to be given an equal importance. That is, when we realize the importance, the necessity of brotherhood, the necessity of equality, then only we could secure the the concepts which is mentioned in the preamble, right from the brotherhood, socialism, secularism, equality, justice, fraternity and all. It is only possible when we give due importance to every section of the society, and no person is left out of the development process which is taken up by the government. So we have 6 important religious groups. Recently in 2014, Jains have been added to the religious minorities. So there are many issues taken up by the commission, the Minorities Commission, and the Commission on Minorities, that is National Commission and Minorities, will take many issues, right from developmental issues, right from welfare issues, issues related to protection and safeguarding of their fundamental rights, issues related to women, issues related to education, protection of their culture, their progress, on various matters which is related to these religious groups. So, it is a comprehensive commission which gives recommendations to the government on various matters. So, I will try to understand that when we discuss about the functions of the commission. So, what is the composition of the National Commission for Minorities? So, we have in total 7-member body. We have 7 members, that is 1 chairperson, 1 vice chairperson and 5 members. This may be probable question in the examination. 1 chairperson, vice chairperson and 5 members. All these members have to represent, have to be from the from those minority groups only. So, from those minority groups, depending upon the proportion of their population, the National Commission for Minorities will be composed of these peoples from the minority communities only, because no, the commission works for the welfare of the minorities. The commission works for the development of the minorities, and this commission is mandated to give recommendations to the government on various aspects through which the government can bring policies and programs for the upliftment and for the progress of the minorities. And this is the composition of the National Commission for Minorities. So, in total we have 7 person, 1 chairperson, vice chairperson and 5 members nominated by the central government. As we say, the members should have should have knowledge, should have understanding, though they are from those minority communities, still they have to have the special knowledge and understanding about such religious groups. So, they have to be eminence and ability to understand the conditions, the living conditions, or what need to be what actions need to be taken for the growth and development of such religious minorities. So, the tenure of these members, the tenure of members of National Commission for Minorities is 3 years. 3 years is the tenure of the National Commission for the Minorities. This may be the probable question. There may be a question like, what is the tenure of members of the National Commission for Minorities? It is 3 years. So, this is important. Functions of National Commission for Minorities. So, as we know, since years, the minority groups, that is religious minorities or linguistic minorities, been facing many problems. The problems they are facing is exclusion problem, that is they are not made participation in the governance of the nation, be it right from giving them the educational benefits or health benefits, or providing them with shelter, giving them the opportunity to participate in the government or the opportunity to participate at political level. So, all these things, many of the things may be not reaching to such person, though we know that there is a system of reservation, but most of the reservations are given to SCs and ST and backward classes, that is OBCs. But when it comes to religious minorities, obviously they are not considered as SC, STs and OBCs. So, in that process, most of the minority communities, religious minorities communities, being also very backwards, that is the minorities, though they are from below poverty line, many of them are not in the ambit of the government's programs. So, the programs or the policies of the government, be it welfare policies or developmental policies, these policies are not reaching to such people belonging to the religious minorities. So, to ensure that the programs of the government, whatever the programs of the government, welfare program or developmental program, in order to reach such programs to these needy people, poor people in minority religions, we have brought in many policies so that these programs reach the people belonging to the minorities also. So the important function of National Commission for Minorities is to evaluate the progress of the development of the minorities, because minorities are left outside the ambit of the development. Generally we see even in Muslims also we've seen a lot of poverty, because there is a continuous exclusion process, or we may say that the reservation is not applicable to such community, and because of many other matters, many other issues, the Muslim community or the Christian community have been left outside of the ambit of development. I'm not saying that it is like wantedly done, but by many other reasons the government could not take steps, because here there may not be a body which exclusively works for the development of such minorities, and that is the reason we have created an exclusive commission which recommends the government, both state governments and central government, on various aspects, various matters related for the growth and development of these religious minorities. So important function is the evaluation of progress and development of minorities. So minorities of both union and at union level and at state level, and monitoring of the working of the safeguards for minorities. See, we have in our constitution, we have many fundamental rights, like we have Article 15. Article 15 like it prohibits the discrimination on the basis of religion. We have Article 16 which provides equality in employment. We have Article 29-30, the educational and cultural rights given to the minorities. We also have religious freedom, that is Article 25, Article 26, Article 28, which empowers anyone, any person or any individual to profess, to propagate their own religion, to manage their religious affairs. So all these fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution have to be implemented. That is, the state governments should not bring any policy which takes away the rights of the citizen, especially minorities. So here the National Commission for Minorities functions to monitor and to safeguard the fundamental rights of these religious minorities. As we know, Constitution guarantees such rights, but few actions of the government may take away the rights of the minority groups, and in that case the Supreme Court or the High Court will come to the rescue of such aggrieved people. And this is an important aspect in the history of India. When we say that there is a National Commission for Minorities, and there have to be some programs or policies drafted by the government which is targeted to develop the minorities, to develop the religious minorities. So generally there is a lot of poverty, lot of malnourishment, lot of educational problems, lot of unemployment in minority groups also. So generally we have seen that the livelihood conditions of minorities are more worst than SCs and STs in many parts of the country. So in order to give an inclusive development, inclusive growth, in 2004 we have brought this 15-point program. Actually in 2004 there was a committee, Sachar committee. Sachar committee was established to give recommendations on the various aspects or various problems facing by the minorities. It was in 2000 on the basis of such recommendations of Sachar committee, the 15-point program for the welfare of the minorities was implemented under the Congress government, or we can say that UPA government, when Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister of India. So 15-point program So this 15-point program are exclusively for the growth and development of the minorities of all religions. So important such programs like providing basic infrastructure to the minority people, like providing them with Awas Yojana, giving educational benefits, like implementation of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in in the pockets where the minorities are located. So giving them the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, providing free education, midday meal scheme, distribution of uniforms, books, and those basic necessities needed for the enrollment in schools and completion of their primary and secondary educations. And we also have in this 15-point program, we have program like employment guarantee schemes. We have program like youth employment. The government will provide with some some policies to minimize the unemployment in minorities. So we have other programs like giving loans for self employment. And there are many such things of providing basic amenities, right from education to health to development. So these 15-point programs are targeted towards the growth and development of the minorities. So the National Commission for Minorities will ensure that all these 15-point programs are implemented by the government at union and state level, and also at grassroots level, so which could bring the growth in the lives of the minorities. So implementation of such programs have become an important function of National Commission for the Minorities. Actually, there was a lot of criticism also on such programs, because many states have opposed an exclusive program which is targeted only for the growth and development of the minorities. What they call it as an anti-constitutional, because constitution doesn't provide such provisions that giving reservation or providing few programs targeted towards the growth of only single section of single community. But actually what happens is we are providing the programs at India level, at national level, but the special target is given. And there was also a provision of providing around 15% of the budget allocated for the growth and development of the religious minorities. Even this step of the government was opposed by many states. Nevertheless, the program was implemented, and we have achieved good progress in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of improving employment. So the 15-point program was an important step taken by the government in order to improve the lives of minorities. And other things is making a recommendation. The National Commission for Minorities, having 7 members specialized in various various parts of the things. They are experts, maybe experts in education. They might be professors. So they are experts on religious matters. So they have recommended on various matters, which has to be generally the recommendations are though not binding, but the government will accept such recommendations. These recommendations may be helpful when the government is preparing any policy, or the government plans for the development and growth of the minorities. So these recommendations, in the interest of protecting the rights and safeguarding their rights of the minorities, these recommendations are accepted by the government, and it is the function of the National Commission for Minorities. And we also know that these commissions, as we have many other commissions, we have commissions for SC, commission for ST, we have National Human Rights Commission, we have Commission for Women's. As all these commissions, This National Commission for Minority will also act as a quasi-judicial body. It will look into the complaints because there are a lot of atrocities generally the minorities will face, because we know majority of the population is Hinduism. More than 80% of the population, around 80% of the population of India practices Hinduism. And generally what happens is that in some states where the Muslim population or Christian population or in small numbers, obviously there may be a lot of atrocities facing by such minority people. So in order to ensure the law and order, in order to protect their fundamental rights, their natural rights, their human rights, the National Commission for Minorities would generally receive such complaints and act on such complaints. So looking into the specific complaints regarding the deprivation of their fundamental rights and to safeguard such rights, and to also give recommendations on various steps need to be taken by the central government or by the state government in order to protect the life and liberty of the minorities. So it would look into complaints. So suo motu also the National Commission for Minorities could take certain steps in order to safeguard their rights, but they also look into the matters when any aggrieved person, any person who have faced the problem will come to the commission and register the complaint. So we have seen there were many communal rights also. So on such matters also the National Commission would take the action. So we have seen there are many sensitive places in the country, like we have seen riots in Gujarat, riots in Hyderabad or various parts of the country, especially when it comes to some communal religious practices, there will be disturbances. So on such matters also National Commission for Minorities would look into in such matters. So we have Minority Rights Day. Minority Rights Day is generally observed on 18th December. 18th December every year we observe Minorities Rights Day, because on this particular day, on 18th December, United Nations has passed a declaration on various rights of ethnic, various religious and minority people. So on 18th December, because on this December United Nations has passed this charter which safeguards the rights of the minorities. So we generally observe 18th December as the Minorities Rights Day. So what are the constitutional and legal provisions related to the minorities? As we just discussed, there are many constitutional provisions, there are many legal provisions as well which protects the rights of the minorities. So in constitution, when we say we have fundamental rights mentioned mentioned in part 3 of the constitution, we have fundamental rights from article 12 to article 35. Major fundamental rights which protects the rights of the minorities are, like we have article 14 right to equality, we have article 15 prohibition of discrimination against on the basis only of religion, race and all. We have article 16 which ensures that equality is maintained in terms of employment. When there is an employment both in government and private also, they have to be maintained. The people have to given opportunity in terms of employment. So we have article 25 religious freedom. So article 25, 26, 27, 28, all this gives a religious freedom to the minorities. Minorities can establish their own educational institutions. A normal person can profess any religion. They have the conscience to practice, propagate and profess any religion. They could manage their own religious affairs. Managing religious affairs is that they can decide on the various aspects, like how much need to be denominated, what instructions should be taken when establishing the educational institutions or in the process of protection of their literature, language, culture, etc. So what are the major religious, major constitutional and legal provisions we have? So we have this Act, National Commission for Minorities Educational Institutions, NCMEI Act 2004. This is a major act which which protects the various rights regarding the education. We have Article 15 and 16, very important when it comes to minorities. So as we said, Article 15 is prohibition of discrimination, Article 16 is regarding providing equal opportunity in terms of education. These articles we would be discussing in general. Article 25, 26, 28, these articles talks about right to religious freedom. Article 29, 30, cultural and educational freedom, like minorities, it protects the cultural and educational rights of the minorities. We have Article 350B, which talks about linguistic minorities. There is a special officer for linguistic minorities. So this commission, National Commission for Minorities, regarding educational institutions. Now, as we said, we have 6 religious communities. We have Muslims, Christians, Sikh. We have Buddhist, Zoroastrians, and Jains. Recently, in 2014, Jains has been included in the minorities list of minorities. So the term minority, what is the minority? So the term minority is actually not defined in the constitution, but it recognizes both religious and linguistic minorities. Linguistic minorities is the minorities based on the language. Religious is the religion what they follow. So this is Article 15. Article 15, the safeguard which guarantees the protection of fundamental rights of the minorities or of any other common citizen also. So on the basis of religion, on the basis of race, a person cannot be discriminated. So this becomes a very important article, which is a fundamental right. When I say fundamental right, if any action of the government or any private person breaches this right, then the aggrieved person could approach Supreme Court, person could approach High Court under Article 32 and 226. This we have discussed in our fundamental rights session. So Article 15 and 16 are important. 15 is prohibition of discrimination against citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, and place of birth. This is Article 15. We have Article 16. Article 16 talks about employment, employment, giving equality of opportunity. So every person, irrespective of their religion, has to give an opportunity opportunity for employment. That is, they have to be taken in the employment process, be it government or private employment. So they have to provide opportunity for all sections of the people. That is Article 16. So they cannot just discriminate, they cannot just deny a person opportunity on the basis of religion, race, and other things. So this is freedom of conscience. Freedom of conscience, Article 25. Any person can take any religion, not forcefully, but by conscience. That is, by his intuition, by his own conscience, a person can take any religion, and he can openly propagate such religion. He is openly practice such religion. So no one is under pressure to adopt any religion, but can adopt a religion by his conscience. They can shift to any religion. So this is an important religious safeguard guaranteed by the Constitution under fundamental rights. So Article 25 talks about the freedom of conscience, the freedom to profess, propagate, and practice religious activities. This is Article 26, which talks about the religious affairs, managing the religious affairs, be it from collecting funds, managing their religious institutions, managing their religious affairs and all. So Article 26 it guarantees the fundamental right to have their religious affairs, and freedom to attend instructions. This we generally studied that in fundamental rights. We have discussed that they can create their own educational institutions which can promote their practices, religious practices. No one is forced to follow instructions, follow religious instructions, but voluntarily the religious practices can be followed. And the community, the religious community which has established such educational institutions will have a freedom to design their curriculum. So they can protect, in order to protect their culture, their literature, they can design the syllabi or the curriculum of such educational institutions. So, we know Article 29 and 30 talks about protection of educational and cultural rights of the minorities. Protection of cultural rights. They can design any such program. They can promote their language. They can conserve their language. So they can also protect the religious minorities in terms of their culture, in terms of their language and literature. So Article 29 and 30 talks about the educational and cultural freedom of the minority. So Article 30 talks about establishment of educational institutions of their choice. So they can also establish educational institution. So this is major thing which promotes the welfare and development activities in terms of education. So in terms to protect their own culture, identity, and to promote their education or to propagate the religious practices, they can establish such educational institutions. So Article 350B, we had a special officer for linguistic minorities, which is we have a constitutional status given to this. That is Article 350B talks about a religious linguistic officer, a special officer for linguistic minorities. Even this article safeguards the rights of linguistic minorities. So linguistic minorities, the officer will strive to safeguard the rights by investigating any complaints given to such officer. So that was National Commission for Minorities. It's a very important commission. It is not that the National Commission of Minority, which is not a constitutional body or which is not mentioned in the constitution, but it has a significant part, because National Commission for Minorities is a statutory body which has created by the Parliament. So Parliament, which is the highest authority, has created the National Commission for Minorities. So National Commission for Minorities is a statutory body. It's not a constitutional body, it's a statutory body. So as we know, how many members are there in National Commission for Minorities? We have a chairperson, vice chairperson and 5 members. In total, we have 7 members in National Commission for Minorities. So this was a body, this was a statutory body, National Commission for Minorities. In next class, we will discuss another body. And we'll discuss various aspects related to such statutory body or other regulatory bodies. Thank you for watching my class.